Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. So in today's video we've got some school equipment to fix here. By the way, this is not fixed. I'll show you. Yeah, it's broken. So what exactly is going on? Well, what's going on with all of this is that it's just straight up broken itself. And it no longer works properly. So these are all the wires that are broken. Now these wires are normally supposed to be used for education, so you'd build simple circuits with them, not this wire, but these wires, and that's why they have these connectors at the end. So the sole purpose of these connectors is to connect the necessary equipment, which unfortunately I don't have, but I wish I'd show you. So we're not here to do physics or chemistry class. We're here to fix these wires because being so bad, so cheaply made by a company called MC, if I can show it to you. Come on, macro, work. Yep, they're made by a company called MC. It's quite a deal that these things have broken because they shouldn't. Look, the wires are literally coming out and exposing the insulation. I'll go ahead and zoom it in there, get the focusing. Yeah, if you can see properly, it definitely tells you that there's a significant issue with the system and it's not supposed to happen. So I've got a soldering iron. I'm not using the normal one that I normally would use. I'm using an older one because this one has a lot more power than the ones that I normally use, or the one that I normally use. That's because the contacts inside of here are a lot thicker. Being a lot thicker than they supposed to be means that soldering them needs a powerful soldering iron, which my other one cannot tackle. Yeah, that's definitely warm. That is definitely warm. Alright, I'll get this pencil case out of the way so we can start the work. First things first, let's fix up the longest lead. Even though it looks fixed up, it's actually not fixed up. So I'll begin by first fixing the electrical joint so we can solder the cable. I'll strip the cable out and then I'll solder it. Alright, that's the installation removed. I'll do the cable a nice stripping job. Also activate the flashlight so you can further see how it's stripped. Come on, strip, focus. Yep, looks good enough. Alright, now it's time to solder the cable. I'll get the other ones out of the way. And now I'll just solder it. How long did it take to heat the iron up? Let's go ahead and zoom in as I do the entire procedure. Yep, it's up to temperature now. It's time to put some solder on the wires. Smoke might be coming. Oh yes, the soldering iron is still working. For a second I thought it was like stopped. I thought it had broken down. Just give it a few seconds to warm up. This thing gets temperature in like a few seconds. Look at that. This is what I like about old technology. It's so great. This is actually what's known as an electrician's soldering iron because they'd use it. A normal one that an electronic engineer would use, or the average hobbyist would be different. Especially because it'll be Chinese and cheap. This is not Chinese. The one that I've used, it's not Chinese. It's really old, but it still works. So now it is time to push this out. Oh, there it goes. Just pushes right out. And the original solder joint is done here, presumably with the exact same type of iron or a normal modern one. I'm not sure, because I don't know how these things are manufactured or where they're manufactured. So now I'll turn the camera around, and I need to do that because to do the soldering, I'm actually going to place it on this pencil sharpener abomination that I created, or else it will not solder. Heat the iron again. Okay, I'll just wait for it to come up to temperature. It's up to temperature now. We should just place it on the wire itself and see if it melts the solder. Yeah, it's not the high temperature stuff. That's good to see there. I'll make sure to keep it heated as I solder. Then I solder it. Sure to get a proper contact or else the thing will not work. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, I'm smelling melted plastic. Come on, solder. Just giving how hard it is to solder this, it pretty much explains that it might not be too easy. There we go. Okay, you think I melted the inside? Oh, this sharpener is still burning hot. Ooh, it's quite hot. Get the siren out of the way. Alright. That looks like an okay joint. To me, it does look fine. Alright, now we're going to cover it up with this included cover. And I'll close this up. I'm actually going to want to put some hot glue in the insides of these because it gets me a little worried if this is actually safe or not, as is, because the wires can pull out really easily and that exposes conductors, and the school equipment is supposed to work at some high voltages, some low voltages, and the school, everyone needs to be safe. No one needs to be in danger when they're learning. That's the first joint on. And that's the first cable repaired. I'll put it in my pencil case because we have to bring it to school. Alright, okay, well, this is the second broken one. I'll start things off by pushing out this. Oh, my battery is running low. That's quite a shame. I'll go ahead and plug it in. It's now charging, and the flashlight should be on at any time. I have a light which I can use instead, so no worries about that. I'll just wait for my phone to charge. It's quite annoying that the stupid camera app that I'm using to record decided to just, turn off the flashlight because I'm dying. I already plugged it in. The option should come back on anytime. Twist that. And then I'll go ahead and add some solder on this end. Thankfully this little, how do you say, sharpener is really helpful. Really helpful. Oh, yep, the option for using the flashlight came back on. I don't need to use it right now because I've got a light. Solder up the temperature. Yep, it is up to temperature. Smoke is flying in the camera. Fine, I'll call that okay. I'll call that okay. Okay, we have a bit of a deal going on here. This particular one might not be possible to solder to because of its material. Let's find out if it's possible or not to get the solder to stick to it. Oh, so glad it actually takes solder so well. We might be able to fix this particular one. There we go. This joint looks a lot better than the other. Look at it. It looks okay. Oh, burning, I forgot it's still hot. This thing gets really hot. Even though it's really just using a small piece of leftover NIMJ from the electrical installation as its heating element. It's because it passes so much current through it. Even though it really only draws a couple 100 watts or something, it still has enough power to, make a 1.5 millimeter wire heat so bad it just melts solder. It's okay, it's not anything I consider bad. They're safe enough and they work well enough. And now I'll push this, oh, there we go. Another wire is complete, and this joint is probably okay. I'm not gonna touch it. At least this brand MC cares about fixability, so maybe they make, maybe I don't have to criticize their brand as much. Alright, moving on, we have another wire which is in the worst condition. I don't know what happened to this particular one. I'll first begin by pulling this one out here. Oh man, what has happened to this one? Is it the one of those what I fixed in the past? Nope. Certainly not one of those that I fixed in the past. Then we can try our best to protect this. It does look soldered. To me, it does look soldered. Though it's really the physics teacher who said it's a good thing to do this, and it's me who came up with the idea of fixing these, because at one point, we and everybody else is probably going to make use of them. Okay. Trying out a pencil did not seem to be a good idea. Let's see if we can get this cover off of here. It's tabbed in with plastic tabs. Trying nope. No. There we go. I think I'm just going to stick the wires into the terminal like that so it doesn't pull out. Like a simple strain relief. If they take care of the tools, I have to say it's okay. I have to say it's fine. I'll go ahead and tin the next wire up. Okay, now I'll place it in the specialized clamp 3000. What am I really supposed to say about it? It's the clamp 3000 because it quite literally is the clamp 3000. And then I'll just wait for the solder to warm. It's warmed. Yep, it's up to temperature now. Okay, now with ouch! Well, I got burned. Please be careful when using something like this. I accidentally touched the solder while it was still hot. Thankfully, it didn't make a burn mark onto my skin. Or maybe I did. Making sure that the iron is still up to temperature. Just a couple 100 degrees hotter so that it can actually, melt the solder faster. Waiting, giving it a few minutes to warm. By the way, these two screws on the side actually do not get hot at all. This is the only part that gets hot. And the wire itself is the entire part of the actual thing that gets hot. Come on, melt, melt. Oh man, why is this thing rotating by itself? That's so annoying. We'll give it some time to manage the heat. To smell the heat from this thing, it's so powerful. It's mad. You can actually feel the heat from this thing. Okay. Come on, solder. Come on. This just solder, okay? Oh! This was proving up to be a bit of a fight. It's rotating. I really like that. I'll try to do a job that I can. That certainly works and it's starting to get warm. Try my best at it again. I'll just give it some heat and then solder. If it actually solders or not. What kind of solder even is this? Tell me, God, tell me. Definitely must be some sort of temperature. Something. It's definitely something terrible in quality because it's not soldering very well. It's the purity of it. I'll put my solder here and just connect it here. I'm assuming this is a lot better than the original solder joint that the company gave you. The company created when they were installing these. They were connecting up the wire. Oh man, don't even tell me you don't want the solder. This is probably the next few minutes of me just waiting to solder this stupidity. Come on. Alright, and that was a terrible fail. Why? Why was it a terrible fail? It's all thanks to the terrible quality oopsies of this metal. I don't know why they built it this way. Grab my fan now, it really helps when cooling something. Is it cold? Yep. So it does actually seem to solder fairly decently, just my stupid sharpener. Stadler. Why are you the way you are? Also got solder all over it. Melted half of it. It's not a cheap Stadler. It's not a perfect Stadler without a couple of soldering iron burn marks. Man, let's see if I can solder it this way. Solder on the side. Maybe that works. I'm not going to continue recording a whole lot because it's quite a shame, annoyingly. Some people really hate long recordings. Let it be understood. No. It's heating. Move the camera by accident a little bit. Nope, stay. Stay, wait. Oh man. Even doing a solder joint this way is difficult. I might actually have to put this video on pause for a few seconds. Come back once I get this wire soldered up because filming is also very difficult. Oh, finally. Oh, finally I got it soldered. A terrible solder joint. Let's turn on the fan. Just let it cool down. Just want to let the siren cool down for a few minutes too. So let both cool down. The iron is so hot. It gets quite hot, and I'm fairly sure that's part of its operation. But it's an old one, and I don't think they ever sell something like this. They don't. They certainly don't sell one like this, but they do sell new versions that are quality. Very quality. At least they're modern technology. Some. But they really show the exact design as this 40-year-old model that I have in front of me. Okay, we have to definitely remedy an issue. I'll come back with some scissors so we can remedy the issue. I have a bit of excess solder here, and the connector doesn't slide in there all the way. Okay, I got a pair of scissors. Let's fix this issue up here real quick. I'll get the solder in there and out of the way. It's already a little warm, but still good enough. Let me go ahead and just do a quick cut on that bit of solder there. That's, you know, doing absolutely nothing. Good. Okay. Now it's time to push this in. And there's our little connector. Hopefully it's fine. I have doubts, but okay. It is usable. One thing that you do have to note here, oopsies, this port here is supposed to be for pushing the wires through. The first connector doesn't have this issue. The first fixed up connector. You can push it into itself, and that's what you're supposed to do with these. You're supposed to be able to do that so you can create bridges and stuff. Some of these connectors unfortunately have the significantly annoying issue that they don't have this hole perfectly matched up. I'll show you why that's important in just a second. It's so bad quality that they push one another. You really want to ensure they plug all the way in. But this particular connector that I just fixed up and tried to solder for like a few minutes, it doesn't seem to be having a good time. Oh yes, I think I found the reason why. Yep, yeah, I already know why. I already know why it's having such a bad day. That's in the opposite direction that it should be in. Oh, bless me. My stupidity never pays off sometimes. My stupidity sometimes never dies. Oh man, there's even more. Come on, who created this garbage? Who created this trash? It's definitely the principal who bought this for her science laboratory, but if she bought them and didn't take care into how they were done, to how they were maintained, and you know, where they bought them from, maybe a reputable manufacturer of this kind of stuff, educational equipment, it would have been better. But no, this is obviously that she's also just on a budget, and she cannot afford everything. So she cannot afford everything for a properly furnished school and a proper school. But okay, it's fine. Yeah, plugs in. Yep, plugs in. That pushes out there. Yeah, another connector ready and fixed. And turn that fan off. Now that we don't use it anymore, it's time to do the next joint. So first things first, I'll open it up just to ensure that we don't deal with any taping jobs. Nope, it's the exact solder joint that this was supposed to come with. Well, I now start to see who did this. Not a robot, a human. A human is the one who did this. Did the solder iron even cool? No, it didn't. Makes me wonder, what is it doing? Why is it so warm? It's like 100 degrees or something hot. So now it is time to get this out of the way and solder up another connector. I'll go ahead and first drop it into a holder for solder. There we go, that's the solder holder. If I can also operate the fan at the same time, I'm thinking that 100 watts of soldering iron power, however amount of power this thing has, isn't gonna cool itself down. Yeah, it definitely affects the way that it works. It doesn't need to have this powerful fan before it can actually heat up, and there it goes, up the temperature. It was trying its best to get up temperature properly, just doesn't managing to do so. Oops, still hot. It's already 20 minutes. You already know what steel. A lot of these connectors are exactly the same thing. I'll just continue real quick. And then I'll do the rest of the soldering in high speed. So I got everything fixed up in the end, and I'm fairly happy with how the result turned out. I'll have to turn off the fan. But I really don't hate the result. No, I'm not reviewing this old soldering iron, by the way, for those who are wondering. So one other thing to discuss here, YouTube might have disabled my comments again. I'm hoping they did not, but yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.